up? Welcome into your daily Blitz for a Friday. It's a finally football freaking Friday. You know what we're doing today? Five keys to a Buckeye victory. Sorry I couldn't do a show on Thursday. Still kind of gathering information back in St. Pete. We're here in um, northeast Florida, Jacksonville area, kind of Amelia Island to be specific, but still trying to find out if we have power, internet, sewer, water, right now we got like they have a boil water warning. So back home. So yeah, we're sticking it out here probably one more day. I got to be back home for the Buckeye game Saturday. That's all I know. So uh, I-75 and Route 10 better be wide ass open tomorrow. Anyways, so please like and subscribe. Hit me with your questions, comments, and all that. I always like to get back and hear the feedback from you guys. So this is your five keys to a Buckeye victory over the Ducks. So right, this is the game of the year. We've had this circled since the spring, maybe, I think, as the game of the year, a GOW, you might say, a GOW, game of the year. It's like, is it catching on? I don't think so. Anyway, um, weather doesn't seem to be an issue coming up here on Saturday night. We'll see if anything changes, but these two teams are loaded with freaking talent. One little side nugget that I find interesting is that the Ohio State commit five-star corner Naeem Offord is visiting as an Oregon recruit for this game. So wonder how this will sway his opinion or his flip possibilities. I don't know. I don't know if Oregon's even a flip option. I think Auburn's more of an option there. But anyway, it's not a recruiting show. We're talking five keys to a Buckeye victory. Let's do it. Number one, the secondary, this pass coverage, and this includes linebackers as well. The pass coverage is going to be stressed in this game. We haven't faced an experienced quarterback like this yet with the mobility. He's not a big arm guy. Now, he's got one of the lowest average depth of target for his passes. It's like down around 6 yards per pass. So he does not chuck it deep very often, but doesn't mean you can't respect it because they got some burners in the wide receiver room. So you got to be ready. This pass coverage, it has to be ready for the quick pass game, the RPOs. They're going to use the shit out of that, just like we do. I mean, these two offenses are very similar. Playmakers all around, solid running game, quarterback that can use his feet, and RPO game. I mean, heavy RPOs. So, but this Buckeye defense, say what you want about who we played or haven't played. Number one in scoring in the country, number one in total defense, number three in rushing yards allowed, number four in passing yards allowed. This is not going to be just, take away one guy. Tez Johnson in the slot is your wide receiver one for Oregon. He has more than double the targets of any other receiver on the team. So he's going up against Jordan Hancock. This is a Jordan Hancock special. This is could be a contract game for him, depending on how he shows up. I have nothing but the utmost confidence in Jordan Hancock. So Tez Johnson might get his. He might going to get a lot of targets, probably a dozen targets, maybe more. But maybe he gets 8 catches, maybe he gets 1 touchdown. That's okay. But Trayshawn Holden and Evan Stewart, they both have 23 targets. They haven't done a lot. The tight end Terrence Ferguson is probably a bigger threat. He's got 21 targets and 11.8 yards after catch. Yak yards. So that's impressive. But Gabriel had 2 really bad interceptions against Michigan State last week. So they're inside the 5-yard line. Now, the Buckeyes need to be aware that the ball could come out and he might put one up for grabs. So you got to take advantage and hands on balls, as we always say. Get your hands on those balls. So pass coverage, number one key to a Buckeye victory. Got to be tight in all areas. IGB is also going to be a target. He is the most targeted Buckeye corner on the team. That includes Hancock. So got to be tight on in the pass coverage. Key to a Buckeye victory number two: contain, contain. You got a mobile QB, not afraid to use his legs. He's a slippery little bastard. He's like not real big. They say he's 6 foot 200. I no, that's wrong. He's like 5'10", 5'11", maybe, but he knows how to use his feet to pick up yards. So when nothing is open downfield, you got to contain this guy. I'm talking D line, linebackers, and bring him to the ground. If you can get a good shot on him, take it. But you got to get him on the ground with little to no gain. And that falls on the D ends. They got to rush with a purpose. We've talked about this in the past. You can't just go like a maniac up the edges and go just blowing right by him. You just open up a huge running lane on both sides of the line of scrimmage. So you got to rush with a purpose. Keep your eyes on the quarterback as you're rushing, and don't create those huge running lanes by getting upfield too far and too fast, you know. And then the linebackers, they come into play here too. They got to keep an eye on Gabriel at all times. I know if you're Sonny Styles, you're going into coverage on the tight end. You also got to keep an eye out, you know, downfield and make sure Gabriel's not running behind you, you know. So this is really going to stress the Buckeye front six. We're going to be playing mostly a 4-2-5 in this game, no more of that 4-3 shit. So it's really going to stress the front four and the two linebackers on the field. So it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to rotate those linebackers too. Is Arvell Reese going to get a lot of snaps? Maybe. He's probably faster than Cody Simon, more athletic, but Simon is the quarterback of the defense at the mic, and Sonny Styles will probably, you know, get to start at will. So Gabriel has 24 carries on the season, just 71 yards, but that's a 3-yard average. So again, you got to contain this guy, and those numbers include sacks as well. But anyway, contain this guy and be aware. Be aware. Mobile quarterbacks do damage to every defense. There's not a defense in the country that does not give up yards to a mobile quarterback. So you just have to limit the damage. All right. Keto Buckeye victory number 3. Quick drink of water. We'll give you an extra long one today. That's what she said, since I didn't do a show yesterday. Number 3, got to win the trenches battle. Both sides of the ball. You must win the trenches if you're the Buckeyes. The OSU O-line versus the Oregon D-line. You got Genty from Boise State went off on Oregon's D-line, 220 yards to the tune. So now we got decent running backs too. I would say maybe equal to Genty, close. They don't get the carries that Genty does, but he's a workhorse back. You know, he's the bell cow there for Boise State. So the Buckeyes are putting up 222 yards per game rushing. That's number 9 in the country. The Oregon D-line is giving up 114.5. That's 33rd in the country to their opponents. So you gotta win this O-line versus D-line battle. You got to move these guys off the ball. A lot of this is going to come in with the Chip Kelly play calling, obviously. He knows what we can and can't do. But you got to move guys. And I think, personally, you get into that depth, that D-line depth, I don't think they have it. Don't forget, these guys were just in the Pac-12 like 2 minutes ago. So, and we know what to expect from Pac-12 teams. They're usually a little light in the trenches. Now, these guys are making, through the portal, they made a lot of changes, brought in dudes like Derek Harmon from Michigan State. He's leading the country in pressures by a D tackle. So a lot to do here. They're super athletic, especially on the edges, but in the run game, you got to move these guys. Yeah, I think it's doable. Pass game, OSU O-line. Don't forget Aiden Childs from Michigan State threw almost 200 yards on this defense. The Buckeyes putting up 288 on the season per game through the air. That's 20th in the country. The Oregon defense is allowing 160.5. That's 10th in the country to their opponents through the air. So, yeah, you got to protect the quarterback, obviously. These guys have generated a ton of pressures. Or we've allowed 17 as an offensive line, but and Oregon has generated 110 pressures as a defensive line. So you you got to use their aggressiveness against them, um, and protect that quarterback. So I would say look for some delays, some delayed handoffs, screens, things on the edges, because you can if the defensive line is getting upfield quickly, that opens up some lanes on the sides or through the middle. So whatever you can do to use their aggressiveness against them would be awesome. Draw plays, things like that. So 110 pressures generated by that D line is super impressive. When you flip it, Oregon O line versus the Buckeye D line, Oregon's rushed for 179 per game. That's 41st in the country. So not a heavy run team. And the Buckeyes allow 73.6. That's fifth in the country to their opponents on the ground. Um, the tackles for Oregon, their left and right tackles, their run grades are good. One dude's an 80, other dude's a 68. And then in the pass game, uh, they put up 272.8 per game. That's 28th in the country. We allow 129.8. That's third in the country to our opponents through the year. So the center is the best pass blocker on the team, but the tackles are right behind him. These guys are all really good. They've allowed 24 pressures as an offensive line throughout the season, and the Buckeyes have generated 74. So again, you got to take advantage where you can of this. They've kind of retooled this O line going back a few weeks. They had an injury, then they switched some guys around, changed the center, changed a tackle, I think. So, anyways, they're solid, but they can be had along the trenches, in my opinion. So that's Keto Buckeye victory number 3. Kind of long, but I'm sure you enjoyed it. The trenches. Keto Buckeye victory number 4. Attack the edges. I know I just kind of said this with the using the defensive line's aggressiveness against them, but you got to make them defend the entire field, 53 and a third, all the way across, and north and south. You got to get that D line running side to side. That gets you into that D line depth. So you got to open the playbook. That's Keto Buckeye victory number 4. Open the playbook, Chipper. He doesn't need me to tell him this. He's forgotten more about football than I freaking know, I'm sure. But let's take these guys into deep waters like we do with close games, and let's see what kind of depth they have. I don't think they have it, especially in the trenches. But open the playbook. Let's get them defending the entire field. I don't think they have the quality of defenders 1 through 11 on that field versus our offense 1 through 11. So the playbook, the play calling by Chipper is all going to be key to move this offense. And I think we can move them. I think we can move them with the run game, and I think we can get them guessing in the pass game. And hey, don't be afraid to take a deep shot or 5, you know, and put it on the receiver. Make him go up and get the ball or knock it down, one or the other. Okay, so open the playbook. I think we're going to see some new things, maybe some more Will Howard RPO stuff where he keeps it or has the option to keep it. I think you're going to see Will Howard moving the ball on his feet more than we saw last week. All right, Keto Buckeye victory number 5. Will Howard, he's got to be the distributor, the point guard, right? He's got to be perfect in his decision making in the RPO game. No mistakes. We can't have any turnovers. This is one of those matchup games where the talent is close to equal, and one little mistake, be it special teams or a fumble or RPO, that could cost you the game. So this defense for Oregon, they like to be multiple formations. Guys can play kind of hybrid positions and stuff like that. So expect some pressure and some blitz. Howard's numbers have gotten better, but he's still not great against the blitz. So I expect Will Howard to not only distribute the ball in the RPO game, but also in the pass and use his feet when possible to pick up some yards and, scamper out of bounds for a first down, save yourself. Don't take a big shot. So He's got to be the distributor, the point guard. And Will Howard might have to go win this game with both his arm and his legs. It might come down to that. He definitely can't give up the mistakes and turnovers, but he's got to be, his decision making has to be on point. It has to be his best game as a Buckeye. So we don't need 400 yards passing. If he has 400 yards passing, that's a big problem. And we're probably in deep doo doo. But anyway, um, yeah, Will Howard is key to a Buckeye victory, number 5 in his distribution of the football. So, um, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Give me your keys. You can give me 1, give me 5, give me 20. I don't care. So, number 1, pass coverage, pass defense is going to be stressed. So, they've got to be on their top of their game. Number 2, mobile QB, got to contain and bring him to the ground. The trenches, Buckeye O line versus Oregon D line, and vice versa, Oregon O line versus Buckeye D line. Pressures, moving the ball in the run game. This is going to be key. They're going to try and run the ball down our throats too. So, key to a Buckeye victory, number 4, open the playbook. Let's see some new things. I guarantee you we're going to see some stuff we haven't seen before, especially with Will Howard in the run game. And let's take him into deep waters. Let's see how deep that D line is. And key to a Buckeye victory, number 5, Will Howard, the distributor, the point guard. So perfect decision making we need from him. So those are my keys. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be back. I'm gonna do my best bets show. I'll probably release that late tonight since I don't have any Friday night games on the docket. So you can get your bets in and play along with me if you like. So I got for you today. Talk to you later. Go Bucks.